Так. Алан Вейк не дремлет. Спасать жену надо. И разбираться в том, что вообще здесь происходит. Поэтому всем хай. Закроем. Эх, снова. Опять работа. Так, я слегка изменил настройки стрима. Надеюсь, оно будет более рабочим, чем до этого. Окей, надо поменять батарейки. Этот судный день наступил. Так. Это трейлер, наверное. Кстати. Интересно, я не видел этого ролика. Так, здесь спойлеры, я понял. Сцены, которых не было. Равно спойлеры. Придется тоже закупиться батарейками на судный день. Да. В этом смысл геймпадов. Не садятся. Они у тебя были две этой. Ну, странно. Ладно. Так, надеюсь, это сейчас будет правильный.
Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
Да,
looking for Rose.
все вроде бы
Works as
лучше.
a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local
Славная
newspaper's
картинка.
archives.
Супер.
This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold...
Они просто не знают, с кем мы не связались.
Yeah, okay.
Я здесь приду каждый
Anyway,
сантиметр.
There was an
Перед
island there
термосом.
owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle.
Zane.
But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Зейн, Томас Зейн, тот писатель, книги которого были в этом... в доме том. Да, замечательно. Потерпите. Я тут термос ищу, вы не видите? Занят важным делом. Да, я вижу реально хорошие 40 FPS. Это контрольная точка. Ничего нету. Или там точно нету. Или... Да, ничего нету. Ну
Just
ладно.
follow me. It's not far.
Что такое эхо было? Давай. Ой, что это за, кстати? За прилет.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. But it would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
Это... А, это вчерашняя, это фигня была. Угу. Теневая. Я сюда. А,
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook story. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp
ага.
lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Интересно. А, вот что это были за инициалы на том бревне. Вот в чем смысл. Это были вот эти оба. Ой, чувствую, с этой мы водяной бабы будем валиться, но ладно.
Listen, I got things to do. This place don't run itself.
The place won't run use.
Well, mister, this here's
So-
Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
Сейчас, секунду. Поехали. Ну? А, это ее дом. Окей, спасибо. Так, мы помним, она это инфекционная, эбола и так далее.
Welcome to. Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh yes. Yes. Please come in.
Сцена. Опа.
Hey!
Мне кажется, его
this is
сейчас
really
убьют. Мне
good.
кажется, сейчас убьют этого братана.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry? She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Oh, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
Боже, страшный скример.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife.
Да, как
You must finish what you started. I insist.
это вот
You must turn the lights
Леди
on.
Даркнесс, видимо, вот это.
Turn the light on.
Либо водяная баба вот это. Затоп.
To work, boy.
Свет включил сразу, моментально. Такая должна быть привычка у каждого. Свет — это
I
спасение.
felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
Ау?
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right.
О боже.
She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the
Thomas
story
Zane.
seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Это, видимо, моя постель, типа, через, не знаю, месяц, наверное, вот это, вот так вот будет. Ладно.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road. Barry was out of it. He was way too heavy to carry.
You're right. I deserve more money. I'm so handsome.
Так, поехали. О,
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
ага, уже полицейский сюда выходит, да?
There's no time to waste.
Или чё? О, радио. Радио Гага.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM.
Hey, Pat, it's Walt Snyder.
What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I am the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just...
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
I had argument with Danny. You know Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law. You know, and, I'm just... Well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah. Well, you know, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me on bail today. And now I'm just alone here at the window, you know, waiting. Man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
How can I be sure that you'll walk away? Oh, I do
О. Окей, пока ничего не понятно. Так.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Slane!
Пошел этот Макс Пейн. Нужен Макс Пейн. Ой, опять это было в этом, на листочках.
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Give it up, Mr. Wake! Come on! Make it easy on us!
Get after it! Don't let him get away! Move it! Move it! Move it! I'll have you shot if you let him get away!
Да пусть будет, он будет жить. Как в GTA, знаешь. А.
Stop running! Freeze! Okay, men, keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here. You see him? It's looking.
Oh, damn.
Fan out! Wait! Wait! Don't move! Wait! Hey! He's up here!
А.
Damn it! Where did he go?
А.
Keep an eye out! He ducked away! Run!
О, листок.
He's gone! Come on, guys! We need to head him off!
Темно еще
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Okay. Let's go. Это уже полицейские все слились. Ха. Окей. Допустим. Чекпоинт. Что это там за сущность такая? Давай.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
Эту фразу я где-то тоже слышал в этих листочках.
It's Wake's doing. Wait, are you seriously telling me that you writer
Ну да, это, видимо, что он написал из будущего в прошлое. Потому что одна из каких-то параллельных реальностей взяла и умерла в лесу от копов. Потому что они его догнали, не знаю.
You on the ground. Hold it right there. There's no one.
Это ворона, наверное, его. На свет, на свет, на свет, на свет, на свет. Это заправка это. Из первой главы. О, термос. Так.
This is James. Mulligan Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. But it was... Hey, what you... Come on. Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over.
I could see the lights at the radio station in the distance.
We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something.
Куда мы идем? Наша цель.
I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both. Over. Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The Fed's gonna want to interview Wheeler. Over. Oh yeah, I bet he does. Looks like they have a lot in common. Mulligan out.
Окей.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Кстати, да, может быть.
Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light.
О! Вот, наверное, какой-то листок должен быть, или этот термос. Вот он, вот он, вот он. Я так и знал. Так, наверное, надо запитать прожектор. Вот он. Обойти, взять листок, наверное, какой-то. Или тут на камне нету листка. Damage. Так.
The old generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix it and try again.
А, типа ограниченное время есть, да? А, пнуть. Опять завести. В поисках термоса и листков. О, ничего не вижу.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashing grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Флешки. Замечательно. Хоу. Неплохо. Надо тоже под себя. Ослепить тиммейтов и противников. Ай! Алан.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10-15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
Well, I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Поехали. Угу. Да, с пистолетом было удобнее намного. Но уже что дают. Ага. Ага, вот флешки. Спасибо. И давайте еще раз нападите. На закуску. Вот это я знал. Беги. Отдышись. Побежал. И давай. Опа. Нормально, там флешка работает. Нормально, тип за две флешки улетает. Так, может здесь листок или термос? Да ну его в баню, не буду ничего искать, все. Опасный лес.
I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
О! Термос это важно. Надо сказать, база. Так, это его машина, полагаю. Наверное, нам даст машину свою, и мы покатаемся. О, это он, кстати.
Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Weyk just walked in, folks. I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Все, они уже едут сюда.
Come on in, Mr. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Сразу.
Whoa, whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Ну, такое.
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine. Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
О, узнаю эти. Тема. Сейчас нападут. Раз, два. О, чекпоинт. И револьвер. Сюда. Секунду. Поехали дальше. Сейчас.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Чё в доме у них? О. Опа. Ну, неудивительно. Неплохо. И зачем? Не понимаю, ладно. Опа. Это еще. А, ладно. Ой, термос я там вижу, да? Боже, мне уже термосы в глазах мерещатся. Это ужас. О, вот он термос. Я его близок. Ла-ла-ла-ла-ла-ла. Ну его нафиг, бегу. Страшно. О, листочек.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole. He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
Подожди, что термос находишь? Ну, может, да. Что-то в этом есть. Готово. Поезд.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. He keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. It's something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
Вот они рассеткой или нарезали просто
The
фразу.
connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Это не одна звонила. Войка какой-то держимый объект.
Wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Это сейчас будет, видимо.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Поехали. Лезем. Окей.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
С объектами. Я понял, о чем он говорил этом. Может, флешку бросить туда?
I hoped I could find a car from there.
Чё бы и нет. Флешка побеждает трубу, знаешь, это как камень, ножницы, бумага. Флешка бьет трубу. Так.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Ну и так.
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me. As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything.
Мощный фонарик. Вау. То, чего не хватало. Опа. Термос. Я же, наверное, ачивка собирать все термосы. Я ее провалил. Потому что я как минимум один не собрал. На том уровне. Ну а как иначе? Я увернулся, по таймингу увернулся. Игорь все равно на это. Мне сейчас чекпоинт с этой опять термос взять. Еще на фонарик поменять. А что это перевернулся? Окей. Дальше. Свету ты можешь охранить. Это понятно. Спасибо. Очень ценная подсказка. Причем по таймингу такая еще. Нужный момент игры. О, сейчас будет мое любимое шоу. Поехали. На экранах страны.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a family occasion. Journalist Alvin Derleth's trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Derleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have...
Так, секунду. Сейчас выключу камеру на секунду. Не то выключил. О, да.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really?
Of course, Mr. Derleth.
Well, I guess that's the least What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
What did you...
Oh, Mr. Derleth, you have well pleased Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. Your body shall host his thousand young, and all shall be glory. Shh, darling, be calm. Shh.
Alvin Derleth learned a harsh lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such passes always bear fruit. In Night Springs.
Так. Сейчас, секунду. Боже. Так. О чем была передачка, я отходил.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Я ничего не понял.
The
Сейчас подождем.
darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me.
Я все, я понял. Что-то жесткое было. Там всегда жесткое что-то. Так, давайте, твари. Подходим, налетаем. О. Так, я вижу там второе, насчет... Ладно. Допустим. Ну и такое бывает, да. Да перепрыгни ты. Мистер Вейк, боже мой. Ладно, я готов. А вы тоже надо света, я понял. Ой. Это печально. Ну, неплохо. Блин. Боже, я аж, короче, я аж дёрнулся. Боже мой. Ужасная игра. Не знаю, я буду, мне, наверное, без вебки удобнее. Мне так больше прикалывает. Так, батарейки больше не нужны. Так. Контрольная точка. Термос и термос. Вот он. Оставь без вебки тогда. Ну как тебе лучше? С вебкой или без?
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. The coal mine wasn't far now. Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Может, термос здесь будет? Не. Верну вебку. Я доел. Так. Ничего нету. Он даже перепрыгнуть не может. Я просто иду на край, чтобы увидеть термос, но его нету. О, машина, может там? Не, ни одного цвета. У него какая-то более серая. У него посветлее. У него вообще какое-то пальто. С этими налокотниками. У меня налокотников нету. По крайней мере, на этой нету. Куртка. Ой, свитер, извиняюсь. Но есть такой синий свитер. Он с налокотниками такими. Вот.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
Видите, наш братан. Все нормально, типа не знал Алана Вейка. Сейчас понял, что не видно этого, не видно задач. Это так... Это как-то вот... А там мапы не будет видно. Вот так вот. Я могу еще повыше сделать, ладно. Как-то так. Вот так вот. Вот так вот. Могу еще повыше. Идеально. Как я и хотел прямо. Да идея это ваша шахта. Еще идти и идти. Ну, туда мне показывают, но как туда попасть? Не совсем понимаю, ну ладно. Да, нет, дальше по улице пойти. О, да, да. Хотя, может, тут забраться можно, не знаю. Я уверен в силах Алана Вейка. У него все выйдет, я знаю. Не нужно делать поспешных выводов. Спокойно. Алан Вейк, он, да, не атлет, но он известен своей хитростью. Сейчас. Так. мы все не супергерои, поэтому иногда лучше пойти по мосту, я полагаю. Не испытывать судьбу. Можно новую машину взять, кстати. Ладно. Теперь зуж. Это надо было на машине ехать. Эх. Можно не поехать, кстати, назад.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me, that's strange, because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or, heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then, there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
Ясненько. Мне кажется, тут был термос. Он здесь проходил, я знаю это. Он здесь проходил. Ну ладно. Тут термос будет, либо листок. Нельзя открыть. Да. Уж. Листок.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Ну, тоже неплохо.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Нормально. Мог хуже припарковаться. Так, термос. Собираем. — 25 термосов уже. Попрошу заметить. 25. 70 случилось сражение вулкана под озером Колтрон, хотя оно было сравнительно слабым, большинство глубин штыркало, обвалилось или были затоплены. Во время катастрофы погибли 32 шахтера, и город на добычу времени White полностью прекратилось. Искрыли памятники. Понятно. Посмотрим. Касцена. Сейчас будет мясо.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me.
Сейчас будет писать или что?
The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wait.
Where the hell are you?
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around by
You
you.
want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah! I'm gonna kill him!
I had to get to Mirror Peak. It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
О. О, термос. Максималочку. О, кстати, секунду.
Мам, не реагируй на него, не реагируй. Как он на нас не реагирует, не реагируй на него. Да, ты на нас не реагируешь совсем.
Так, дальше.
Получаешь, да?
22. Мозгами тронулись. Ой, а как он так упал? Хочу подняться. А. О, листочек. О, термос. Все здесь. Томазель любит бар.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
А, это не термос. Ой, тут я чувствую. Будет весело. Ладно. Да, пофиг. Окей. Нету, да. Светошумовая. Окей. Если объяснять, что такое, что эти термины означают. Так. И откуда вообще этот лут появляется на мапе? Ну, то есть... Почему? Зачем? Как? Откуда? Кто спонсор всего этого? Ну, если скажу, что это все Алан Вейк прописал, то это гениально. Будет. Так. Ну, серьезно, а еще к ним... А как вот, типа, вот, воевать с этим предметами? Спасибо. А, ну естественно, начни с самого начала. Это ж так смешно. Ха-ха-ха. Начинай сначала.
When Thomas Zane fell for...
Ну, допустим. На уж демоны эти. Это что было в снегу в самом начале. Такс.
The only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
Опа, ракетница. Отлично. И что там босс ПС какой-то по канону. Ну, у меня ж дробаш еще есть. Все, нельзя ехать на ней, ладно. Ну, так у меня в руках эта моя шашка. Ой, им нормально, и они идут на меня. Весело им. Ну, это ж просто даже не... Ну что это за идиотия? Может просто проехать на машине? Нет, не... Ну, допустим. Никого не вижу. Просто все пропали. Ну, гада. Ладно, баги везде бывают. Так, изучи дальше. Может, термос будет. Поехали. Неплохо. Trust no one is a так. Никому не верь в темноте. А, лестница. О, вот он. Следуй. Okay.
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the Dark Presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
То есть Зейн, вот этот писатель, он оказался подвержен этим тенью.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were Standard Power Company equipment. I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed unhinged as he gloated. Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent.
Его настоящее имя Реймонд Чендлер или что? Или он Алан Вейк? Ох, батит мне этот цвет. Вот там же дальше сюжет идет. О, чувствую, там будет сейчас файт. А если наверх поднялся сюда? Да даже сюда, что здесь будет? Термос, 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 термос. Термос. Он выжил. Так. О, секретик. Ладно. Флешка, флешка, флешка. Гадово. Так, похилимся. Батарейки есть. Поехали.
I had no real plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
Жесткий. Ага. Погано. Гада. Я только хотел сказать, а будет ли за это ачивка? Вот она тут. Двоих одним шотом. Там это, там сюжет. А там секретка. Значит, термос, либо листок. Опа, да. Термос, 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 я вижу. И ради термоса сейчас тут будет мясо. Да, ракетница? Чё? Go, 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 go. Вольвик сдох.
The dark presence was moving ahead of me in the same direction I was going. A cold feeling settled itself in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
The graveyard shift may cause cancer.
Заколебали. Три здоровяка, понимаю. Весело ему. О боже. Все новые противники. О. Не, просто свет.
А где ты?
Замечательно. Ой-ой. Ладно. Может, за ней кто-то? Ладно.
The place was dead. A ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Листок. Либо термос. Не-а. О, термос. Батарейки не нужны. Там что, листок? Или свет? Поезд. Я буду жить, я буду жить, я буду жить. Так, нет. Ну-ка. Не хочу. Не хочу.
I needed a key for the door.
Термос. Я же знаю, что он тут.
Я иду.
Поехали. Ключи.
Anything outside of writing is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
То есть, выходит, он почитал Томаса Зейна. Да, и теперь у него история как у Томаса Зейна. Не делает ли это Алана Вейка Томаса Зейном? Ну или хотя бы каким-то его альтер-эго. Но Томас Зейн это другой человек. Я полагаю. То есть это не Алан Вейк. То есть Алан Вейк это Алан Вейк, Томас Зейн, Томас Зейн. Но просто Алан Вейк становится Томасом Зейном. Ну, если он если он сейчас сказал, что мне нравится его история о том, как о том, как то, что сейчас происходит. Наверное, он взял, позаимствовал историю и написал, короче, а-ля новую историю, но с идеями Томаса Зейна. И в итоге Алан Вейк сейчас по каким-то смешанным мирам бегает. Ну, смешанным идеям, не знаю, произведений.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up.
Окей. Ему сейчас будет весело. Ну, туда.
Birds.
Так. Ничего нету. Oh, tunnels go to Алан Вейк. К этому озеру идет пещера. О, лут. Ну-ка. А сюда.
Without warning, the headache stabbed at my brain.
Может, какие-то эти... Такого...
Alice?
Тени имитируют, мол. Ага.
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
О.
The hunters were big, thick-set men, confident and at home in the woods. They were feeling good, running on beer, ghost stories, and camaraderie late into the night. It did them no good, as they were taken by the dark presence, sucked deep into a darkness far worse than any ghost story they ever told or heard.
Ну, явно не вниз. Ладно, назад.
Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought. Just let me get through this.
Поехали. О, термос. Hello.
I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that.
Тут ты выходишь уже?
Окей. Путь. Наверх. А, светлую площадку. Чуть не упал. Ладно, ну я думаю... Не, наверное, наверх подняться ради лута, не знаю. О.
Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Molnir, wench." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. "We're on a comeback tour, baby."
Чё? Какой Тор? Что за Скандинавия пошла?
Great. Another cable car. Just great.
Да уж. Хм. Добежал. О. Озеро Колдрон. Озеро Колдрон 8 по глубине в мире. Это вулканическое озеро, так называемая кальдера. Сам вулкан можно считать активным, но он не извергался со времен вулканического землетрясения 1970 года. И даже с той поры подземная активность была сравнительно слабой, хотя материальный ущерб и случался, но обходилось без жертв. Озеро Колдрон — одно из красивейших мест в окрестностях Брайт Фоллс, и вместе с тем центральный элемент местных легенд. Это популярная зона отдыха для жителей региона. Окей. Это там, где этот дом был. Сейчас. Сейчас. Поехали. Пауза на ответы сообщения, на ответы на сообщения. Поехали. Ладно. Он сам идет. Нельзя бежать. Птица. Угу. Угу. Неплохо. Опа. Секретка. Он идет влево, влево. Опа. 11 зарядов на ракетницу. Либо какой-то сейчас финальный босс. Это сейчас уже конец главы. Сколько сейчас? Не, еще как будто полглавы осталось. Так много страниц осталось еще. Либо я их всех прозевал. Вот еще страница.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn. but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
Явно, типа, они такие, какая-то странная фигня с этим домом. Ну, островом, да, типа. Машина есть, а где они, их нету. Пнуть надо, да? Ничего там нету. Маленький домик. Хочу изучить, что вокруг. Подземелье. О! Гады. А что наверху там? А, ладно, ничего нет. Томас Зейн. И вот эта тетка. Том. You talk to me on TV. Ты говоришь ко мне по телевизору. Где Том? Ты написал это? Том. Я проклинаю тебя, Томас. Зейн. Том. Скажи по тебе, Том. Ага. Надеюсь. А, термос.
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat.
Лодка.
I was close now. I had to get... I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. They're fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Даже в клинику попадет. Угу. Может, это все трип в клинике, типа, не.
Hey, I'm here! I'm coming!
No! Get away! Sorry! Please, leave! The boss didn't know who he was messing with! I didn't know! I swear, I didn't know! We don't have his wife! We don't know where she is! She's probably drowned! We just said we had her to make a play ball, you see? They got him writing for us! Please! Please! Oh! I'm sorry!
Have been for a while now. The shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're lying.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
It's okay, Alan.
Just let go.
I felt groggy. Whatever Hartman had bumped in me was making me numb. I felt like this was happening to someone else. Someone I was watching on television. I couldn't think. Couldn't focus.
Чё, это он вышел из сна вот этот? Чё и... Под капельницей. Ну и тут он писал это, там была закрытая эта стенка.
Good evening, Alan. Are we feeling better now? Feeling calm?
Yeah. I see you brought your pet gorilla with you. So sure, I'm calm. I get the message. Loud and clear.
Quite right. That's the spirit. You're being very brave, Alan. I understand you're confused. I would be more concerned if you weren't suspicious of me. I don't blame you for it.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you good. This corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly vulnerable, of course. I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together. This way, Alan. Now, Alan, from past experience with you, I know I need to get right into the heart of the matter as quickly as I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking, an obsession about light and darkness, a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and dreams. Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy scenario in which your writings are affecting reality. She has been kidnapped and supernatural forces of darkness are trying to stop you. You go this way, Alan.
I wasn't ready for another shot, so I went along with it. He had to be lying. But under the influence of the drug he had given me, I had to fight not to believe his words.
It's all in your head. You've been making it up. Apart from the tragic accident with your wife, no one has been killed. Your delusions are just a manifestation of your subconscious mind trying to protect you from the too painful truth. Unless we fight the fantasy, it will return. I know the instinct is to resist me, but think about it. Doesn't this make far more sense than the insane supernatural conspiracy you have concocted in your mind? You're a skeptic by nature, Alan. We both know this. Everything can be explained logically. I never get tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
Cauldron Lake spread below us. I could see Mirror Peak on the other side of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It seems there's a storm coming. Funny, I don't recall there being a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter. This way. Follow me. Alan, what I'm telling you is good news. Right now, we're in control. Every time you have a relapse, it gets more and more difficult to resurface from the dark depths of your imagination. Not surprising, considering your profession. Imagination is what you work with. After all your nightmares, this should come as an immense relief to you. If it doesn't, why is that? Because I'm lying? Or because you don't want to admit that you're not well? It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the illness.
I let him talk.
After all,
Hartman
I'm the one
obviously
trying
loved
to
his
bring
own
you
voice.
out of the world
His
you
words echoed
constructed for
madly
yourself.
inside my head.
But I can't
I dug my
do it
nails
by
into the
myself.
palms of my hands to stay
You need
focused.
to work with me. Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery. Come along. Let's go inside. Now here's the entrance to the office wing. That's for staff only.
Scary,
You were impressed by my trophies when you first arrived here. I do love to hunt. The great outdoors, man versus nature. It's wonderful stuff.
Pretty damn wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I got you. Got you
Emerson.
good. I'm a real bad dream, mister. You should be afraid of me. Don't want to run into me in the night, that's for sure.
Please, Emerson. Mr. Wake is confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go away so you won't be scared. But you can't just decide what kind of dream you have or when you have it.
Emerson.
Okay. Sorry. Ew. Elbow strike. Ooh, yeah. Up, get him to the head.
Так, что там? Кто сканирует?
Please, this way.
Сейчас, секунду. That looks painful. Типа Макс Пейн. Сейчас, секунду. Поехали. Так, я опубликую эту группу. Такой бред. Ну, не бред, но прикольная тема. That looks painful. Может, что Макс Пейн. Видишь, фанаты Ремеди поймут отсылку. Так. О, термос.
Come, Alan. This way. Now, you might have noticed the typewriter in your room. You've been writing as a part of the therapy. As soon as you feel up to it, you should continue.
О, обожательно. Мы окажем вам всю необходимую помощь, тем не менее, просто наблюдать следующие правила. Если друзей и близких заранее планировать посещение, чтобы они не приходились на время ваших лечебных процедур и или творческой деятельности. Кроме того, просим вас уважать право на уединение и личное пространство других пациентов, особенно когда они заняты творчеством. Будьте терпеливы. Большинство наших пациентов сталкиваются с многовременными творческими трудностями, которые не решаются за одну ночь. Позвольте себе тратить столько времени, сколько нужно. Помните, что вы добровольно согласились на лечение, специально подобранное для вас. Терапия лечения торговая марка и ее аналог метод потока торговой марки, но более эффективно тогда, когда пациент активно вовлечен в их формирование. Если вас что-то беспокоит, не стесняйтесь об этом говорить. Да, будьте терпеливы.
My
О!
rheumatism's killing me. There's a storm coming. Oh, what a
Мэйд
storm.
Спрингс.
I hope it wipes this
Я знаю эту
place off the
передачу, ребят.
face of the earth.
And these two are the Anderson brothers, Odin and Thor. They had
А, вот что у него за молот.
a heavy metal band in the 70s and 80s called Old Gods of Asgard. They even adopted new first names to complete the image of Viking gods. After the band broke up, they lived on a farm nearby. They are, well, in advanced stages of dementia. They're well cared for, TLC and all that. There's nothing more that can be done. I'm afraid that the rock and roll lifestyle has left its mark.
Coconut.
Oh, that won't do. I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room.
А этот, вот эта фигня тут, откуда он ее получил тогда? Девушку молотку. Так, если это все фейк, откуда он вот это все получил? То, что вот
I'd
тут.
like to bash his head in with a hammer.
Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny. Yeah! Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Say, you're all right, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro?
What
He's
was
gotta
saying?
go to the farm.
The Anderson Farm. Valhalla!
We wrote it all down, lest we forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these.
Сценарий, да?
Zane could feel the poems, taking form, shaping things. As he experimented, he imagined he could almost feel the power surging through the keys of the typewriter. It exhilarated him. But there was fear, too. If not for his young assistant, Emil, he would have given it up. But Emil convinced him otherwise. He, too, had a way with words.
Кто это?
My head was clearing up, or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I was convinced he was lying to me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Tom, got any booze on you?
Yeah, no.
We have a stash of the special stuff at the farm. Our own formula. Local ingredients. Medicine clears your head right up. Makes you remember like moonbeams on the brain.
Oh, I just noticed. Leather patches on the elbows? That's not very rock and roll.
Tom just lost is all. Baba Yaga got to him too, the damn witch.
She used us all. Taken from all of us. Took my thunder, the witch.
And my
Coconut.
ravens, what were they? Memory and thought, the hag.
She took something from you too, didn't she? That's what she does.
We're better off. This place, the lake, it gives you power. If you're a creator, an artist, a god.
Nightmare shifted in their sleep in the darkness of the lake.
Yeah, that's the one. She makes sure it comes out
twisted and wrong. Just ask the lamp lady. She knows what happened to that other rider. She's been using you, boy, and you let her. You went and opened the door for her, didn't you? Now, it was already open a crack. And whose fault is that? We're morally corrupt, disease-ridden, old and stupid. Doesn't mean he had to open it all the way, goddammit. So tired. Built the farm close to the lake, a place of power. We had parties there, man. You should go there and have a party. That Bob Balder threw the F through the window, hit that hippie chick in the back of the head. 15 stitches and a concussion. Bob's dead now. Leukemia. Stitches, snitches, and narcs, man. Bad scene. I am tired, man. So tired.
Well, he's the boss.
I may need a hand here later on, Birch. The storm's bound to make you know.
Gotcha.
Something's
got me
wrong.
looking after Wake here.
I'm not myself. It's hard to think. There's a shadow inside my head. I can only focus on writing. Everything else is a blur. I'm trapped in this cabin. Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence is wearing the old woman's face. She was covered in clinging shadows. There's a hole in her chest where her heart should be. I think I've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I'm any closer to saving Alice. It's been lying to me, using me to get the story it wants, and the story will come true.
Hey, Wake, why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh? Typewriter's in your room. You can get to your room by those stairs, Wake.
Это он мне еще говорит, мол. Окей. О, Night Springs. Игра на Xbox. Ну, поехали.
The white glare of the blank page in front of me hurt my eyes. My hands began to shake uncontrollably.
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go see what's up. You just keep doing what you're doing. Be cool, okay?
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Here's a friendly poke from Mjolnir, wench.
О, слышу, про Мьёльнир была фраза такая.
Sinclair looked bad. That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. If she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd be keeping them.
It's my store. I'm taking it.
I'm gonna do your crazy quack ass to shreds!
Barry?
Ow! About
Oh.
time!
Barry, man, I'm glad to see you.
We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Yeah.
These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together
Сейчас
on
пистолет
this.
отберет,
You
да?
have no idea.
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
Аня, лучше запах.
Hartman followed the fall of Alan Wake with his binoculars. When the rider hit the water, he ordered Jack to take the boat to him. The spot was easy to see in the dark, even with all the extra lights in the boat. The flare floated and kept burning even in the water. Jack turned the radio louder as the engine sputtered. The music was rough and clanking, something the Anderson brothers would no doubt have enjoyed. But Hartman chose to ignore it.
Понятно.
The dark presence would be on me in a moment. I had to find a way out. Ah! I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way. There had been a generator and a work light on the balcony.
А где балкон? На втором этаже, наверное. Вот, Это форсаж, да, этот? Или ещё? Не, это не форсаж. Что там дрифт?
Hartman knew he was no creator. He had no ambitions on that front.
Фонк не
And he
хватает.
certainly didn't want to end up like every artist he had worked with here, damaged in ways that were hard to describe, or worse. It was enough for Hartman to maintain creative control and provide direction, to be a producer. That was what most of these people were in need of anyway. Of course, suitable subjects were few and far in between.
access to thousands of applications? Verizon Wireless has you covered. Check out the latest games. Discover new music and old favorites. Social networking, sports scores, news. It's all at your fingertips. No matter what you're into, Verizon Wireless can satisfy your never-ending appetite for apps. Check out VCast apps and load up your phone.
Все. Термос.
Hey, come on! You gotta get going! I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there!
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al! Oh, God! Look at the house, Al! Look out! Oh, geez, Al! The house looks bad! Let's get out of here! Al, hurry up! I can hear those evil guys moving around!
Не доверяй Эмилю. Окей. А, это этот...
I stared at the Viking paraphernalia that littered the area,
Кто
surrounding
Зейну
the unlikely
помогал?
centerpiece. A full-side stage complete with an impressive sound system with all the trimmings, including a dragon. It took a special kind of crazy to build something like this in a remote field. When the sky split open with a deafening boom and the music started blasting, it felt strangely appropriate.
Будет уступать Алан Вейк. Ничего здесь нет.
Hartman hurried down the corridor. He had disliked leaving Wake when he was surely at his most susceptible to therapy. But this was not an ordinary storm. Wake had been writing, and he had woken something up in the depths of the lake. Now, it was coming for him. Hartman had naturally prepared for a situation like this. The idiot brothers would keep Wake distracted while Hartman double-checked everything, just to be sure.
Что проверит?
You get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be nice and calm all day long. You get 3 pills in the evening. Like things to realize. That way we don't have any trouble, and I don't have to
Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. And Hartman said Wake was important. That made him better than Mott. But Mott was calling the shots now. He'd expected Wake to whimper and grovel, but instead, he seemed willing to fight. Mott knew he'd gotten under Wake's skin. If only Mott actually had his wife. The thought made him shiver.
Все хотят его жену.
For the moment, Barry was just glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the bushes, an axe.
Не разорвался. Ну, так я думал, что он умрет где-то. Угу.
Hartman watched as Wake's features slackened. The man was bullheaded, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost broken Hartman's nose the second time. But with a little time, he could break Wake down, give him proper direction. Wake was easily the most promising subject he had had. Well, since Tom, really. Sleep well, Alan, Hartman whispered with a smile. Let me take care of you. He sniffed hard to clear his throbbing nose, swallowed blood, and barely tasted it.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so, Barry! I'll find it! Don't worry about it!
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it! I'm on it! Oh, hey! I found a corner!
Hurry up, Barry!
Hey! Found a corner!
You're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through, if we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
Crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the craziest.
But maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But they wrote it down. There's a message somewhere at their farm, Barry. We just need to find it.
Look out!
I had lost my gun in the crash. Barry was nowhere to be seen.
Barry! Barry!
Oh, man, you're okay! Jeez, it's good to hear your voice! I was trying to get out of the car, but the ground gave way. Man, what a drop! Don't worry, your cutout is fine.
Forget that! Are you okay?
I hit some bushes, didn't get a scratch. There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall. Al, there's something moving down here!
Barry, it's a taken! Use a flare, Barry!
Oh, yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
I'm good, Al! I'm great! Guess you never messed with anyone from New York City before, huh? You're gonna have to find your way around to the farm, Al! I'll be waiting!
Barry, just wait for me, okay?
Al! I'm not staying here! It's suicide! I'm going to the farm! I'm gonna go ahead and secure the area. You can catch up. Don't worry about it. I'm on the case.
Now he's a Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry.
Фух. Так, чувствую, надо завтра буду ходить. То есть 4,5 главы за один день. Ну, неплохо. Около было 3 часа. Неплохо. Непогано. Но все ближется к концу, я чувствую. Вот прям к концу. То есть, будто он сейчас на ферме что-то выпьет, как-то себя бафнет. И пойдет просто в озеро. И там будет какой-то еще уровень. И финальный босс будет там, не знаю, жена. Сейчас. Вот, да. Так что спасибо всем, кто сидел. Спасибо всем, кто посмотрел эту запись. Здесь завтра Алан Вейк добьется, и мы узнаем концовку. Вот. Все, всем пока.